Paul Eisenberg, I can't cut my cat's nails. It's greatly traumatic for both of us. I just buy scratch pads. Me too. Actually, I have a funny... So, Lucy is so not good with authority. She's just like me. And but so my mom, at one point when I was on the road, Lucy stayed with my parents for a little bit, and my mom messaged me one day or called me one day, and she said, "Hey, I made Lucy an appointment at the cat spa." This was in Pittsburgh where my parents live. And I said, "That's a terrible idea." And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "She's going to hate it. Lucy is going to hate it." And she said, no, it'll be great. And I'm like, okay. So my mom calls me 20 minutes later. My mom dropped Lucy off at the cat spa. And 20 minutes later got a phone call. And they said, "This is the first time we've ever had to do this in 20 years. We need you to come get your cat. We can't give her the treatment." We got as far as trying to trim one claw. And by the way, somebody wants to say hello. Come here, sweetie. Hello. I have all of my claws. My owner wants me to have all my claws. I have all of them. I'll never be declawed. I have my scratching posts. Become a patron. So anyway, yeah, you were the first cat in history that the cat spa denied service to. You were in the newspaper. She wasn't, but she deserved to be. And so she's the sweetest cat when it's just on her terms. Like, she's never, like, she doesn't like children. That's the other weird thing about her. She hates children. It's the weirdest thing. But she's so mean to children. I think it's because she wasn't around them much most of her life, so when she meets one, she's confused that, like, there's humans like that, I guess. Like, I don't know. But she's mean to children. Super sweet to everybody else. But authority, children, not a fan, this cat. Celeste says that's not weird for a cat to not like children. I guess it's not. Yeah, I guess because they kind of... Sometimes, like, kids don't really know how to pet them, and yeah. So Lucy says hi. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you saw it, but I posted a picture of her in her yellow vest. Come get your cat. Oh, the other time... I'll sell this real quick, and then we gotta go. But the other time... So, when I first got Lucy, Lucy was a stray. And there she is. So Lucy was a stray. She ran into our house and enriched our life. When I say our house, I mean me and my college roommates. I was a senior in college. I lived in a party house with two of my buddies, and it was a damn good time. We would throw parties. Lucy would just run around. It was a really cool time. And one day Lucy got out because she would just kind of go outside because she was a stray basically. And she got out, and she was gone for like 2 weeks. I was super depressed. I cried every night. I was so scared she wasn't going to come back. And when she finally came back, I was like, I'm getting her fixed, and, you know, she's going to be an indoor cat. Like, I wanted to get her fixed anyway. I was just a broke college student, so I couldn't afford it. Now, fortunately for me, there was this low-cost neuter and spay mobile that was coming through the town of Bloomington, Indiana, and my mom loaned me some money to get Lucy fixed. So I was so stoked. And so me and my roommate drove to drop her off. And the way it was is they were going to do the procedures on all the cats. And they're a very good service. They do really good work. I read up on them very thoroughly before taking her. And they provide a very essential service to, underserved communities. Not that Bloomington's necessarily an underserved, but you know what I mean. Like it's a smaller college town, so there aren't a ton of, low cost, animal services. So they kind of provide a mobile one. And anyway, I take Lucy in, drop her off in the morning with all the other cats. And we were supposed to pick her up at 6 at night. I get a phone call around 3 in the afternoon, and they go, "So everyone's fine. Lucy's fine. The surgery was a success. She's good. but she's not really getting along with any of the other cats. We had to put her in her own area, and if you could get her a little sooner, that'd be great. And I was like, well, when do you want me to get her? And they go, now. So I say to my roommate, I'm like, we got to get Lucy. So we drive to the area, to the clinic. And it was like the scene in Silence of the Lambs where like Clarice walks down the cells and then sees him secluded by himself. I walk down these areas where these animals are just kind of, they're kind of laying and they're all resting. Some of them are actually nuzzling and cuddling because they had just had the procedure done. They were kind of tired. They were recovering. So they're all just laying there peaceful and tranquil, and they're just sort of, some of them are kind of nuzzling each other affectionately. And then at the end of the hall, there's this animal secluded by herself, and she's pacing back and forth, just hammering each side of the cage and meowing at the top of her lungs. None of the other animals were making a peep. She was already recovered and over this fucking place. And that was this tough cookie right here. That was my Lucy. And as soon as she saw me, she started purring and we took her home. And I was like, this is a fiery cat. I dig her. And we've been together since, huh, Luce? She's a tough cookie. She's a tough cookie. She is 12 years old. And this was the first time. The last time I took her to the vet was the first time where she got a shot, like she got a rabies vaccine, and it actually slowed her down. This is the first time in ever where it slowed. And when I say slowed her down, I mean for a half hour she was kind of aloof, which is totally normal for cats. It just was never the case for her. So she's finally at 12, slowed down a little bit. But then she was back to her normal self about 40 minutes later. So, right, Luce?
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and